Woo! 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 Styling and profiling. Woo! It's live and in color. Woo! 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 Slow down.
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am your host, Tommy. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit that thumbs up. Today, guys, I have special guests joining me. I got Nathan, who is a regular on my show here, regular guest. I appreciate you hopping on. And I got Jeremy from Bill's Cold Front Report. I appreciate you guys hopping on, bro.
Oh, thanks.
Nice.
All right, man. So, hey, guys, golly, what a terrible way to end the season against the Chiefs. We'll talk about it a tad, but you know, my tears and my anger is pretty much gone. My anger is still a little there, but the tears are dried up and gone. I guess I want to get with you, Nathan, on that loss. What was your emotions going into the game and then after the game? Walk us through that, man.
Well, I don't know. Like, I was watching it, and like I thought we could have beat them easily, and then the whole time we couldn't get like the crowd out of like the stadium, or couldn't get the crowd out of the game. So like all the game, it was just loud, and I didn't really feel like we had a lot of momentum. And then I don't know. Then the ending with like, yeah, just like in the overtime how they, in the overtime how they just lost like that. Yeah, I don't know. It was a little depressing.
Yeah. Jeremy, man, I know you guys went live right after. And so did I, man. My voice was gone, so I guess tell us, man, what was your emotion going in the game, then into the game, then after the game, man? Like how did that that went for you, that roller coaster of a game?
I mean, as far as going into the game, I really felt that the Bills had a chance to win the football game. I knew it wasn't going to be the Week 5 matchup again. You know, the Chiefs had a little bit of bulletin board material, I thought, coming into this one because of that the whooping we gave them down there in Week 5 on so was it Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football. But you know, throughout the game, I tried to stay even keel. I felt like the Bills were riding the wave, and where we played them in the AFC Championship game in 2020. Like as Nathan said, when we couldn't get the crowd out the game. When they got into it, it almost felt like it went off the rails at some point, and we couldn't reel it back in. This year, that didn't happen. I mean, and then you get to the final couple drives, and Josh is just winging it.
Yeah.
And then you get to the Gabe Davis touchdown, and you know, you're jumping up and down because you just can't believe this dude. Then he's done this, and
right.
Then comes the 13 seconds from hell.
Right. The slowest 13 seconds of your life just happened. I mean, normally 13 seconds is nothing. I think I could get my mail in 13 seconds has gone by.
It's funny because I had like a hunch about that too, because like that Music City Miracle thing, and then I'm like,
oh, dude, yeah, that played right in my head too, bro.
Yeah, I was like, 13 seconds. I know this is nothing, but yeah, I was sitting in there, my stomach.
Oh, dude, when we scored. When Gabe Davis scored, we had the ball at 17. We scored it, and it was 13.
Yeah,
I lost my shit. First of all, I was like, you know, like about to cry, but I was like holding in because the game ain't over, right? Because you know, and then I said to myself, okay, what can happen here? Like I'm playing it out in my head. Like what's the worst can happen? Okay, we kick off. Do they put Hill back there, right? Do we squib kick it and then they're playing some dumb shit and we special teams knowing us we blow it and they return the kick and that would be an awful way to lose, or do we kick it out of bounds? And I'm thinking, and my initial thought honestly, guys, was I was cool with kicking it out of bounds, because I said 13 seconds, but then of course after thinking about it, when the dust is settled, I said, why didn't we just not squib kick it? I don't know if
just
I would
kick it real high to like 5 or something.
Yeah, we did it all year long. And I don't get why we didn't have Bass kick it to like the 5 in the corner.
Yeah.
Real high, let them, because the worst case scenario, the ball bounces and they have to cover it and either kneel it or try to do some trickery shit, and they're killing time. So that, and then just like I said, man, that whole game, going into the game after what we did to the Patriots, I'm thinking, all right, bro, the momentum since the regular season, the last 4 games, then we beat down the Patriots. I thought our defense was going to do exactly what they did week 5 against the Chiefs, which was play aggressive against Kelsey at the line, play aggressive against Hill, and take away those 2 and let them rest of the players beat you. And we did the total opposite. It was just like we reverted right back to the 2020 game, which was playing scared, playing like, oh, we don't want to big plays. And it was just like, oh, man. So when a lot of people talk about who lost us the game, I'm going to say the coaches and in all phases, even Dable, because Dable didn't recognize when Tyrann Mathieu got hurt in the first drive to attacked it in the fourth quarter. We should have been up at half. Yeah. If we would have went that style, you attacked early on, you were talking 23-14 maybe at half. Then the Chiefs are playing catch-up ball. But you see, so that's why I'm saying I think the coaching staff, McDermott, the special teams coach, Dable, they're all involved in this loss. And I'm not saying the players have something, they're not involved either, but I don't know, man. To me, I think the coaches failed us again, and it's a learning experience for them. So hopefully next season they learn and they don't make the same mistakes as guys. Even so, that we score, they have 13 seconds. It's like, dude, McDermott, the very first thing he should have been was going over to special team coordinator. Listen, we already know we're kicking extra point. Listen, on kickoff, I need you to tell Bass to do this, because supposedly it was a squib kick. Yeah. Wait, they call and get in Bass. So it's like, why didn't that call get okay? Now you fucked up once. All right, you already messed up. Okay, you call a timeout when you saw the Chiefs line up. Why didn't you talk with Frazier about what you're going to do there? Then they get back, boom, another play. Then you call a timeout again, which I'm like, okay, cool, right? I'm thinking we're all thinking the same thing. Cool, it's smart. You're seeing what the Chiefs are doing, and we didn't. We just gave up. We're playing prevent defense, and everyone wants to blame Levi Wallace. I don't think it was Levi Wallace's fault. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think it was the play calling. I think we told the players to play back. We gave them the middle of the field. Made no sense.
Way too much.
And this is it. So that's why I think coaching, man. What do you think about that, Jeremy? You think it was a coaching or more on the player side?
Definitely coaching. I mean, you can even go back to the fact that going back from week 5 to this, one of the things that we used to slow down Travis Kelce was Saran Neil. You saw no Saran Neil and Travis Kelce this game in this matchup. And they go back to that play where people are blaming Levi Wallace. And I happen to think that people just hate Levi Wallace because they hate Levi Wallace at this point. Why have Mario Addison spying? At this point, why not insert Saran Neil into that spot? Move Matt Milano to the middle linebacker, move Neil out to the outside linebacker, and put Tremaine Edmonds as your fourth lineman, as your D tackle, your spy. He's 6'6", right? We put him in middle field to clog up passing lanes to distract people. Why not have him do that job? I mean, Mario Addison and Jerry Hughes, they couldn't catch Mahomes all game. So, yes, when you talk about coaching, there's a lot of key things that 110% this falls on coaching. The players did what they were supposed to do. They executed their assignments, which put the Bills in a position to win this game with 13 seconds left, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, no, I agree. And guys, just a quick, just in case anybody doesn't know you, Jeremy, just before, because I want to do this before the end. This way people can know who you are and where you're at, man. Because I know normally we do this at the end, a lot of but I'm thinking, who the hell sticks around till the second to the last hour? So, Jeremy, where can we find you, and tell us a little bit about your channel, man?
Okay, so I mean, I'm on the Cold Front Report. I believe it's at Cold Front Report, Cold Front Report Bills News on Instagram, Cold Front Report News on Facebook and YouTube. You catch me there. Normally, I have my personal show every Tuesday with former NFL running back James Mallard, who's from Buffalo, New York, and Bills beat writer Mookie Hawkins. The name of that show is Nothing Personal, Just Bills. And you usually can catch it during the season every Sunday right after the game. Obviously, as we talked about going live to the Chiefs game, reluctantly sometimes after bad losses or ugly wins, but you could catch us there. And yeah, it's a good page. Tommy has been on there before, and we're gonna have Tommy on there sometime too this year.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll hop on, man. Mookie's cool, man. I never collabed with Mookie before, but players seem to love Mookie, man. Like they light up anytime Mookie, even coaches, like, oh, Mookie. It's like, bro, he has like some kind of like aura about him, man. Mookie,
you know what it is?
man.
Because when they get Mookie, you're not gonna get some dumbass John Worrell old ass question.
Right.
You know, you're gonna get some a decent question. You're not gonna get to some clickbait, you know.
Right. Or a stupid ass question that one guy asked. I forget his name. I forget his name, but the players were on him. Remember? When Micah
that was
Hyden
Jerry Sullivan, dude.
Yeah, who's been like trolling the Bills forever. By the way, I do not know why they even have him like out there, because he asks the stupidest questions, anyways. Nathan, man, I know you don't do any content, but how tell us a little bit about yourself, man. How you became a Bills fan?
Basically, yeah, I've been a Bills fan since the early '90s, and then growing up, I've always been like a baseball guy, whatever. But it wasn't until late like high school, so that's like late '90s. I really started getting into football, and I really started getting into football like with the draft, like what was it, Keyshawn Johnson? What was that, the '96 draft? I think it was when I really started watching that, and then so okay. Ever since then,
you arrived during the really.
Yeah, no kidding. Just when it started to go bad. Yeah.
Golly, man. Yeah, see, I've been a fan since '89, so it's like I got like heartache and like disappointment and like just it's been a nightmare and fun at the same time. So it's just like a roller coaster of a ride as a Bills fan, man. Totally. We got to win one before I pass away. I don't want my kids like taking, getting all that, that happiness.
Take it to the parade.
Right, man. Like, I feel bad for some of these old timers, man. Like, I'm for real, man. There's some old time, guys that are like 80, 90, they don't have much time left. It's like, bro, they're just like waiting and waiting, they got like 1965 Buffalo Bills, pictures in their basement. And they're just like, man, dude, I feel for those dudes, man. But I think our time's coming, guys. I really do. So enter in 2021. And I'll start with you, Jeremy. Your honest expectations going into the season were?
I believe I said 12-5 or 11-6.
Okay. No Super Bowl. And no Super Bowl. Okay.
No Super Bowl.
Nathan? Honest
I was around there. And I was thinking AFC. I was hoping AFC champion, like get to the Super Bowl. But what is it? You got Tampa, they're really good. You got Green Bay, like they're really good. So my expectations weren't to win the Super Bowl, but like if we can get there, that'd be like a win on the season. But that's where I was.
Okay. I was drinking the Kool-Aid. You know how they say like love is blind. You like want to like don't look at the bad things, and or they're there, but you just have your love blinders on, and it's gonna be okay. So I wanted to ignore the fact that our offensive line was trash. I mean, let's be real. Not total trash, but they weren't very good.
Yeah, I thought they'd be better.
So I thought they'd be better.
Yeah,
but I like I said, love is blind. So it's just kind of like. I wanted to believe that they were coming back healthy, and now they're all together, right? Mongo's back, and the way that Mongo came in last season, when after the injury, he was like the kind of like the bulldog we needed that was missing last season. So I thought, man, he's coming back fully healthy. Now we have training camp, because remember, 2020, no OTAs, no training camp. So it's like I kind of let the excuses build up because of that, and I said, hey, our defense should be better. Because now we have training camp. These guys get together. We added Gregory Rousseau. But we didn't do that much in the offseason, if we're going to be real. And the draft was, some of the things that I thought Bean did were going back-to-back edge. I was a little nervous about that. I didn't agree with that. I understand it. But I don't know if I necessarily agree with it. You get what I'm saying? So my expectations, like going into the season, I honestly had us 15-2, which is a little wild, but I had us losing to Tampa Bay and Tennessee.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, no way, Tennessee, we're going to beat Tennessee. I'm like, hey, well, hold on. They added pieces here. They're not a bad team. Like, listen, you know, and if I know that their quarterback Tannehill isn't like all-star quarterback, but he's in the mid. He can win you a game. He's not bad, you know. So I just had a feeling they were going to beat us, and we were going to beat KC. It was just going to be one of those games, like beating KC and another tough opponent on the road. So I had us 15-2, and I had us going to the Super Bowl. I did. I really believed it. But then week 1 happened, and then my love blinders got broke, you know. And I'm like, okay, settle down. Now it's time to get, you know, back down to the ground, right? Yeah. So as the season went on, it was like a roller coaster, man. Because at times I was like, nah, this team's not even a playoff team. Right? Like, so, and then it was like, wait, this team's a playoff team. Like, it was a crazy season, guys, overall. I want to go over the ranks. So on offense, I'll start with you, Jeremy. A to F. Like, what do you give the offense, like ranking wise? And then we'll go with defensive special teams after.
I'm gonna give it a B. If I could do a sub rating, I gave Brian Dable a C. But I'll give the offense as a whole a B. You know, the thing is, we for some odd reason, it's like we were just allergic for the last 2.5 years to just running the football. Yep. It's like Brian Dable had a peanut allergy to running the football. It's what I saw. And finally, you run the football the last 4 to 5 weeks of the season, and ta-da, look, amazing things happen when you're balanced on offense. Oh, wow, look at this. You can even put up 33 points on Kansas City or 36 points in Kansas City because you have a running threat. Oh, no, everybody's not keen on Josh Allen. Oh, wow, who would have thought that would have happened? Yeah. So, I mean, I give them a B. I thought they struggled a lot of points in this season, especially playing against good defenses. Now, we did have a little bit easier schedule this year, and I do think that tail end, those last 4 to 5 games, really, the teams that we were playing more or less saved our season, more or less than our players and coaches, because we couldn't get any better than that stretch, you know, to end it off. So I gave them a B on the offensive side.
Okay. And Nathan, what do you give the offense? What do you grade the offense, man?
That's a good question. I want to say like an A just because the potential's there. Like, you have Josh Allen and Diggs, so yeah, you can win 30 points like every single game. But yeah, like that Jacksonville game, and like you always go in those lulls, right? Like you have like a first game. You have like that first drive or whatever, and they do really well, and then they go in like that lull until about the mid-third quarter. So yeah, B-, I guess, for the season.
Yeah. And Nathan, man, me and you agree there. I gave it a B- myself, and here I'll play this real quick because you agree.
Thank you very much. Finally, somebody's got a brain in here. I thought I was alone. I mean, my God,
Yeah, I want to give them an A, right? Because like they have so much talent, but
no, hey, listen, the talent's there, but there were, like I said in the beginning, it's like we had holes to fill, and I think we try to patch them up. And I think as Bills fans, we're all guilty of getting a little hyped up. We drink the Kool-Aid, and we saw what they did last season, and we wanted to like believe that it's going to happen again, right? Like, and we added Emmanuel Sanders, and like we have I was hearing talks about 4 1,000-yard receivers, and I said, get the I was like, to be honest with you, I said, get the hell out of here. Like, even I was not buying that. Stop it. And I kept telling people, really, 4. So the tight ends get nothing. The running backs get nothing. Josh Allen 6,000. Stop being being ridiculous. It's not going to happen. We'll be lucky if you get 3. If you get 3, that's really unbelievable. If you get 2, that's pretty damn good because you got to spread the ball around. And did we even have? Do we have 2? I don't think we had 2. Did we have 2? No, I want to say no.
We only Diggs, and Diggs only had like 1,100. So
right. So what does that tell you how the offense went? It wasn't as planned as us Bills fans going into the season thought. Right. Like, you know, and then I heard Emmanuel Sanders 1,000 yards. I'm like, come guys, slow your roll. Slow down a little bit. But I gave it a B-. And to Jeremy's point, man, see, I never been a Dable fan. Okay. And I got lost a lot of Twitter followers early on because I hate to bash people. And listen, I'm not saying he's a terrible coach or anything, but I just felt like when he came here, I was not happy. I thought everywhere he went, it pretty much was a disaster. And I'm a true believer in, listen, man, if no matter what, if you're hired for a job, no matter what you got going into it, because a lot of people was saying, oh, it's because he had no talent. And that's why it wasn't fair to him. Well, duh. Like every new coaching, for the most part, goes in with bad talent, and the owner understands this, and they give him another year to prove himself and to build talent. Dable never made his players better. Never. Like, and what does that show you? If the owners are firing him after one season, that means they had no belief in him. Yeah. Zero. So he comes to us, and I'm like, oh boy, what has he done? Let me look at his track record. Oh boy, last on offense everywhere he went. Right. I can't count Alabama because it's a powerhouse. Get out of here with that. So
right. Let me just bench Jalen Hurts and bring in two off the bench, and
right.
Great.
Yeah, you got blue chips everywhere. So stop it already. So my whole thing with Dable, my number one flaw with him was in-game adjustments. It's been a flaw for him wherever he went. Even Nick Saban chewed his ass out, right, in a game because he gets stuck in his ways. Like I don't know what it is with Dable, but he just gets stuck in his ways. So that was my number one flaw. And in the beginning of the season, he did it right away. Right away. He would not get out of his way. He just kept going with the Dable playbook. And no matter if it wasn't working or not, he just stick with it and no in-game adjustments. And the Pittsburgh game shows you right there. The red zone was terrible. I think we were like 2 for 6. You can't win like that. And, you know, and like to him, as what Jeremy was saying, the running. Listen, this team is built pass then run. I agree with that. I'm cool with that. But not to run at all. Three runs, 4 rushes. That's nothing. That's not built. That's nothing. So, and by the way, Devin Singletary is not a bad running back. Everyone wants a dog on Devin Singletary. He averaged his rookie season like 5.1. I think he was like tied with the league with Derrick Henry. This year he averaged 4.7. I want to say 4.6. Yeah. So that's not bad when given the opportunity. Then you got to factor in the offensive line. Why are you having Bakker start when you got Ryan Bates there? Right? What are you saving him for? Like, what for center? You could have Phil Mongo at center. Like, it made no sense. So that Dable's just as guilty right there, and I got to give it a B- because of that, almost a C+. Because at times, like the Jacksonville game, come on, man, right? The red zone efficiency was terrible to start the season. It got better, but to Jeremy's point, we played garbage ass teams. Let's be real at the end. So, you know, that's where I leave it. Now, defense, Jeremy, what do you got? What do you grade the defense? Even though we were number one across the board, you know.
Yeah. You know, honestly, I do believe I do give the defense an A- because they held it together all year. And even after the injury to Trey White, they continued to hold it together. They did what they were supposed to do. You know, I didn't come into this season expecting this defensive line to just light it up. I didn't expect, to tell you the truth, I didn't even expect Greg Rousseau to play as much as he did this season. I think that
I didn't think he was coming in at all. I thought he was going to be rotational at best. Yep.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be inactive for most games until like maybe the second half of the season. I thought Basham was going to play more. But the A- to me comes from the fact that we did have 2 old ass linemen playing by week 17 and go into the playoffs. One dude shouldn't have been on the team past the trade deadline, and Jerry Hughes, and the other guy should have been inactive. Your mentorship is done. Thank you for your help. You've taught these kids all they need to know, and you shouldn't be playing. I thought I know a lot of people are not fans of Tremaine Edmonds, but he does what he's supposed to do in his defense.
Yep. And he's 22.
Right.
23.
And what else can we say about Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer?
The best duo in the NFL?
Best duo in NFL. So, and I thought Levi Wallace, if you go by Levi Wallace stats, the last 7-8 games after Trey White, 77%, I think 77 QB rate and targeted them. I believe 5.2 yards to a target. I believe he only gave up maybe 1 touchdown. And I believe he only allowed about 57% completion percentage on him. So he played he did his job. So I thought the defense did their job this year, in spite of people like Star Latulele just stealing our money.
Yeah, I agree. Nathan, what do you think about our defense, man? What do you grade the defense for the year?
It's kind of hard. What is it? They played really, really well, like as a unit, like as a whole. Like I don't know, I'm not going to put them. I know they're number 1 ranked defense in football, but I'm not going to put them up with like the best of all time. But like as a unit, I was so impressed how like Tre'Davious White went down. But it's almost like they kept like playing well even when he wasn't. Like at the beginning of the year, like that was one of the big discussions was, do you draft a corner in the first round? Because if Tre'Davious White goes down, it's like it's really thin. But I was really surprised how like well they played like all together. So I'd probably give it like a solid B for sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna go B. I was gonna go B plus, okay, but I'll just say B.
No, that's fair. I'm gonna say B plus, almost an A. B plus because a couple things. Star, just total disappointment. I was expecting so much from Star, to be honest with you guys. He sat a whole season out, which is fine. Like I'm not even mad at that. Like I understand that. But to come back like and then just not play because of personal problems, and like when he did play, he didn't really he didn't do anything. And then he caught COVID again, and it's like you didn't give us much, man, and we're paying you a pretty decent amount of money. And then when you get benched for Harrison Phillips, who I like Harrison Phillips, but he's not a starting defensive not in my opinion. He's more of a rotational guy. I would love to have him back, by the way, guys, but depending on the money, I'll be real with you guys. It was his best season, and that's not. He's not a starter in my opinion. Like I need somebody next to Ed that's a little bit a game changer, because Ed's still getting better. And I love. By the way, Ed Oliver had a fantastic season. He was a dog out there. Stats may not show up, but bro, when he gets a guy next to him, like when Star played next to him in 2019, he was a beast, man. Because Star was playing good football. Star gave us a couple seasons. Other than that, that's it. But if Ed can get somebody next to him to push that the pile, I think Ed will flourish even more. Yeah. So and to your point, Trey going out, Dane Jackson, Levi Wallace, man. I love Levi Wallace, by the way, guys.
Yeah, I like Levi.
I think he's going to get paid somewhere. I don't think he'll be back. I think he deserves it. I'm not saying he's like, oh my God, the best corner in the league, but he puts his hard hat on, man. He comes to work. He does what needs to be done. He lacks a little speed, and that's why he gives a lot of cushion up. But listen, guys, he was undrafted. He was a walk-on in college. Like, he's earned everything he's gotten. So I give him credit, man. So wherever he goes, if he stays or goes, man, I am a fan of Levi Wallace. I think he's a good player, man, a good solid player in this league. But we do need to address the cornerback in the draft. I do. I think that's something that we didn't do last season, and that's where when I'm talking about some of the holes that we kind of patched up or just ignored. And we're thinking, I think Bean was just thinking we're cool. I think the players in the locker room were cool for now, and it kind of bit us a little bit at the end there on some things. So I'm going to give it a B, because overall they did their job. I would say the only game they didn't is the Titans game, which was just a tough game, and really the Tampa game, and only the first half. I thought they did excellent in the second half. And by the way, that Tampa game is the turnaround game. If we go to the Super Bowl this year, everyone's talking about the Tampa game.
Yeah.
Everyone. But because we didn't, nobody gives a shit about the Tampa game. But I'm telling you, that's where things turned around. I think that's where this season, at least, the team finally showed like heart and fight, including the coaches. Because I think at that time, if we lose that game 40 to 14 or something, I think all hell's. I think.
I was like, fire everybody.
There's a lot of chatter. Yeah, bro. Hey, listen, I have a co-host on Friday, and he was texting. We were texting back and forth. It's like, oh, we're not. Man, I'm gonna shred this team, and I'm thinking the same thing. I'm gonna shred the shit out of this team when I go on post game. And I came on. We lost, which, by the way, was that no call was ridiculous, but whatever. I came on, and people were like, I'm defending us, and I'm saying, guys, trust me. There was something that happened in that game. Calm down. I get it. Things look bad, but something there happened. A light went on, And sometimes you could take a loss and turn it to something good. And it did. It really did. I thought it woke up a lot of people, man, in that locker room. It just sucks that we couldn't get to the Super Bowl, man. 13 seconds. Good Lord. Because, guys, we would have beat Cincinnati, in my honest opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We would have handled business at home, and who knows at that point. Who knows? But anyways, special teams, and then we're going to get on to the next subject. What do you get special teams, Jeremy?
Well, I mean, it started off pretty good, besides the punt block in week 1. But then something happened, and, I mean, we had to put Micah Hyde back there at punt return. We played, we juggled the eggs with McKenzie and Stevenson. The kick return didn't look safe. Stevenson almost got killed out there like 3 or 4 times. We put Breida back there. I gotta give it a C. I mean, it got really ugly, and then this year, and I besides our gunners and Taiwan Jones and Saran Neil, who I think is the best gunner duo in NFL, and a very underrated free agent in Saran Neil, we need to extend immediately.
Oh, we're gonna get to that.
it got a little ugly.
Yeah,
and this was the first time that we could say that in Buffalo and the McDermott watch. The special teams got ugly outside of Hauschka not be able to kick anything over 48 yards. But I give it a C, man.
Okay. Real quick, Dallas coming in. Thoughts on Moss for next season? I'll go with you, Jeremy.
Let's see. I talked to Zach the other day. As you do know, I am his producer for a show, so I'm not going to speak on the Moss too much.
We're going to go to Nathan on that.
Yeah, he's training hard.
Nathan, whatever. What do you think about with Zach, man?
Whatever. He's our 2 back right now, so I don't see him really going anywhere. I don't see a reason to get rid of him. So, yeah.
Okay. So my real quick thoughts, Dallas, real simple, man. He's young. He's on a rookie deal.
Yeah.
On a cheap deal at that. He's a 3rd-round pick. I think he needs work, and I think he knows that. He understands what he needs to do. I still think he can be a factor on this team. What it'll be, I don't know. That's up to the the running back coach and McDermott and Dorsey. But he's on a rookie deal, man. I mean, unless the Bills are trying to trade him, then cool. But and get something back, and that's up to them. But just to cut him, I don't think he's a cut candidate. He's not. It's not worth it to cut him at this time. Though you never know. But the one thing I can say about Moss is, which I'm sure he'll work on, is just his field vision. He needs to understand where his blockers are a little bit better, and be a little bit more patient before hitting the holes. And that's one thing that people don't give Singletary enough credit for. He's very good at vision, man. He's very good. He knows his cuts. He's very elusive. He may not be the fastest guy in the league, which we all know that. But man, if you can get 4.7, I'm cool with that on a carry. I'm good with that, bro. And that's why, to Jeremy's point earlier, Dable not really running him, it made no sense, man. And I kind of almost felt like it fell on Josh a little bit too much too. Like maybe Josh didn't trust Devin either, because if the coach isn't trusting Devin to get the ball, why should Josh give him the ball? So maybe that fell a little bit too on those RPOs, right? Just saying. And I think eventually Josh started trusting Singletary more. If you saw that later, he was giving those options up more to Singletary, where in the beginning, listen, Allen was taking the ball 9 times out of 10. So yeah, but anyway, special teams. I'm gonna give it a C+. I thought Marques Stevenson would do so much better, and I still have hopes for him. He's a super fast guy. It's just I think he's just he had that rookie wall. And I think he was nervous, man. And he came off injury. And to be fair, guys, he didn't really have, he was missing most of the season from the injury. He came, boom, you're the kick returner. You know what I mean? Like, you're the punt returner. And punt returner, listen, that's tough, man. Kick returner, fine. But punt return, bro, that guy is on you like that.
Yeah, and they're coming right at you.
You got to make a decision, and it has to be the right one. Kick returner, that they're yards away. You know what I mean? Like, for the most part, you're cool. But punt return, man, that's why Andre Roberts was valuable. He was wasn't the most, electrifying returner. He was just really smart. We had confidence. okay, this guy's not going to blow it. He knows where not to field it. He knows where to let the ball go. Right. You know, he knows to call a fair catch. So, you know, that's why he was missed, but I wasn't. And Isaiah, he has the you know, he drops the ball sometimes. Like, so he has that. So I think training camp, they're going to really work with those two guys. I still think those two guys could be the kick returner or punt returner, but they got to get reps in. Marques especially, if Isaiah's not back, because Isaiah is a free agent, as we all know. He may not even be back. So we'll see. All right, so I do want to get into the offseason moves. So as we know, Dable gone. I was totally cool with that. I was cool with it last season. Farwell, whatever the hell you pronounce the special teams, gone. Cool. I'm cool with it. I am. I'm not saying he's bad. He was okay in Buffalo. It was all right. And then OG Bobby Johnson, which I'm so glad he's gone. So glad he's gone. Another one that was terrible. I'll be honest with you. He was worse than Dable. I mean, he was so bad. He did nothing for this offensive line. Did nothing. We got Dorsey, I was promoting Dorsey since Dorsey came here. Like I'm a big fan of Dorsey. Dorsey's such a smart guy, bro. He just didn't have the quarterback skill to make it as a quarterback in the NFL. But bro, if he did, he would have been unbelievable because he's a smart guy. And the special teams, we got Smiley, who he's bringing up. He's already with our team. And then we got our old OL coach, which is Kramer, Aaron Kramer, who actually Super Bowl. He was one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL for a while. I think he got an award or something back in a couple of years ago. So I'll start with you, Jeremy, on these transactions. What do you feel about the coaches' transactions here?
I mean, I was probably one of the leaders in the please hire Brian Dable fan club for head coach. He deserves a class there. Bobby Johnson needs to go. He's one of those coaches that he has a scheme. He's going to coach his scheme. And to me, it was a throwback coach. You're going to coach your scheme no matter what type of players you have. So you're not going to change it for the type of players you have. It fits them. You're going to coach for what you want to coach for. So I was happy he was gone. I'm right with you with Ken Dorsey. I would have hated to see Ken Dorsey leave this building. But end of the day, I wasn't worried because when you have Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and the offense that we have, we could have got anybody to come take this job. As far as the special teams, I'm glad it needed a switch. Farwell, I think it was time for him to go. He can go to Jacksonville, get your fresh start. Because like I said, our special teams unit looked pretty bad last year. I'm happy to keep Leslie Frazier, although I do realize this is not Leslie Frazier's defense. And I want people to recognize that this defense that we run is Sean McDermott's defense that we run. The reason I was happy to keep Frazier is because a lot of the young players, and this is from me talking to a lot of the players, when they come in on the defense side of the ball, he's like that whisper, that older guy who makes them feel comfortable and introduces them to the game and that they respect. So I didn't want to lose him for that reason alone. That 13 seconds debacle, it could have cost him his job in those situations, and I'm pretty sure it cost him any candidacy that he had for any head coaching positions. Yep. But it is what it is. Obviously, Cromer, I'm super excited to get him back. If he remember, he was one of the few people that when we made the coaching changes that the fan base was clamoring to keep. Obviously, we ranked number 1 in rushing when we had him. Mm-hmm. Success has followed him. I believe out of his last 15 years coaching, his offense has finished, or rushing attack has finished 6th in the top 10. I mean, finished in the top 10 6 times. So, he's a good coach. Glad to have him.
No, I agree. Your thoughts, Nathan, on the coaching?
Was it Cromer's probably like my favorite one to come in because I really want to see what he can do. Even like Ford has like a bad rep, but I want to see if he can maybe turn him around a little bit. Even what is it? I was listening somewhere and they're saying every coach that comes in, they'll always have like their guy or someone that they're kind of eyeing. So I'm kind of looking for who's Cromer's guy that he brings in. Is it like a guard or whatever? He's probably the most interesting one to me. Dorsey, same sort of thing. It's like he has a really good offense and Dable did a really good job, but it's like I feel like he can take it to the next level. He doesn't have those like lulls that Dable always have. But a question actually for you guys. If you look at coaching trees around the NFL. Are you really rooting for Dable to like spread McDermott's coaching tree? Because like in Buffalo, we never really like had coaches leave to be head coaches somewhere else. So
I think it's going to be terrible.
You think it's going to? But are you rooting for him? Are you rooting for him to be good?
No, I mean, listen, I don't have anything against Dable. Like Dable didn't leave on bad terms, even though something came out that him and McDermott were not on the same feeling each other. But no, I wish him the best. But do I think it's going to be good? I know I don't, and that's why Dorsey did the right thing, because if he would have went to New York.
Oh yeah, why would you go there?
And everyone knows how New York media is. It's rough. So listen, if Dable doesn't do good after, let's say 2 years, 2.5 years, 2.5 seasons, he's probably getting fired, because that's just how New York media is. They're going to be riding that ownership, and that means Dorsey would have been out the door looking for an OC job. You know, if their OC would have fallen flat, let's say their offense was terrible, that's going to be on Dorsey and Dable, right?
Yeah.
So. Dorsey did the right thing by staying in Buffalo. So do I think, me personally, no, I think Dable is going to be done. I don't see him making past 3 seasons in New York. I just don't. I just don't think he's going to, I don't think he's head coach material. I think Leslie Frazier is head coach material, and I think the 13 seconds cost him, and I feel bad for him. But he'll be back, like Jeremy was saying. And it's good for us. The players love Leslie Frazier.
Yeah.
But it is McDermott's defense. Let's be real. And McDermott really has to start changing his philosophy a little bit on defense, because I feel like his bend don't break kind of defense is breaking at certain times, and it's bad times. In playoff time. So
it's good like against average teams, but when you go up against like a really good quarterback, it almost seems like it backfires against you.
You can't my whole thing was I felt like he gets timid. McDermott gets very especially against the Chiefs. I don't understand what it is, but he plays like scared. He plays just nervous, and he doesn't want to take chances, and I think he holds the team back, by doing that. So I'm hoping, what are we in year 6 now, right?
Going to year 6, right?
Really
I believe crazy. So, because he got us to the playoffs 4 out of 5 seasons. So year 6, I'm hoping, he's learning too, guys. The thing about McDermott, Nathan, he's been in the coaching game for a while, but head coaching, this is it.
Brand new.
So like he's learning on the go. You know what I mean? These are all learning experiences. The coaches he's failing against is Andy Reid. Let's be real, right? Yeah. The coach he coached under, and he has to figure a way to beat his mentor, and he hasn't yet. And I'm hoping this loss sticks with him, and he looks at a lot of film and understands what he did wrong, and corrects it, because he has to. Because and I brought this up the other day, guys, and I want to ask you your honest opinion. And I got like bashed on this on the chat. But let's say we're going to season 6 with him, and it's the same results. Let's say we get to the playoffs, same thing. Is it you think Bills Mafia is going, okay, it's time for a change? Or do we just ride this thing out and trust the process? I'm going to start with you, Jeremy. I'm just curious what your thoughts on that.
You have to ride it out. I mean, if we didn't go through like 20 years of just putrid play and putrid coaching and constant coaching changes, Sean McDermott is a little bit more than what people think he is. He's in that modern day role where he was hired and he brought in Brandon Beane as his general manager. So it was almost like Sean McDermott in a way acts as a team president without actually doing the day-to-day team president functions. Right. So when you really, really look at it that way, Sean McDermott is almost solely responsible for turning this franchise all around. And the decisions he's made in these games versus the Chiefs, they were bad. It was some bad coaching, not gonna lie. But like you said, this is his first head coaching job. And as I call it, now we have the extension. We've been there, won the AFC Championship game, and we've blown the game in the playoffs. He's going to phase 2 of his career. And what phase 2 of his career to me is now The Juan Castillos, the Rick Dennisons, the guys that he grew up coaching with are now gone out of his tree. Now he's built a team where he can bring in guys like Cromer. He can keep guys like Dorsey. He can bring in other coaches in there are solid coaches. Because remember, if anybody thinks back, it was really hard for Sean McDermott to put a coaching staff together his first year. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it took almost 3 to 4 weeks for him to get an offensive coordinator because every offensive coordinator he went after took a job.
Yeah, it was on his third one or something.
Yeah. So and then people also have to realize too, when he was looking for offensive coordinator, Andy Reid's tree is an offensive coach. There ain't nothing defensive about his coaching tree. Okay, it's all offense. Matt Nagy, Frank Wright, Doug Peterson were head coaches, so they're picking from the same tree. It was only so much fruit left on the tree to pick from in the first place, and that's how we got the Rick Dennison. So this is phase 2, and I think when phase 2 comes in, you get better coaches, which creates better decision making in the games like that, and that's why I think the Bills will eventually get over the hump. I don't think we're going to stick in the situation.
Okay, so then I got to counter at that. So that's coming from a Bills fan and you, but what about the players? Because they're also got to believe in the philosophy and the process, right? So when does a player in the locker room, after another playoff loss, like let's just say hypothetically we do, and hopefully we don't, guys. I'm not trying to be Debbie Down here, guys. It's just a hypothetical question. So in the locker room, we're back here again, right? We lost again, right? And let's just say it was another coaching kind of thing, right? Where that happens again. Do the players, you think, start asking themselves, is he the right guy? You get what I'm saying? Or do they continue to ride the process, trust the process, as they say? Because eventually, right, you would think players, because the reason why I say this is because there's been teams that's gotten to the playoffs plenty of times. And I'm not talking about just football. I'm talking about a lot of sports, baseball, basketball, and they can never get over the hump, right? Their coach stayed there forever. I'm a lifelong, 10 seasons, but he can never get them to the promised land. Do eventually the players just got to, you think they just eventually say something's got to change? Or do you think they just keep hoping and saying it's going to work? It's going to work?
No, because the players follow Josh Allen. They don't follow Sean McDermott. And as long as Josh Allen is now in that tree saying, hey, man, what the hell is going on here? None of the players are. Think about it. Look at the Aaron Rodgers situation in Green Bay. There was never a problem with Devontae Adams until Aaron Rodgers said, I may not want to be here. You never talked about a rebuild in Seattle until Russell Wilson has said, all right, listen, me and my wife's telling me to get out of here because we know that's what's really happening. Right. So you never had a problem with it. As long as Josh is still saying we got this and we're running that wall, the players are going to run through that wall with him.
Yeah, I agree. So to your point, and by the way, my co-host, Apex, Mikey, he says, preach on, Jeremy.
I know Apex. Apex is on my show all the time. Okay.
Yeah, that's my co-host, guys, by the way. Okay. We'll be back next Friday on #sports at 9 o'clock. I believe we're going at 9. Mikey, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's 9. Anyways, but yeah, that's my co-host. I agree, Jeremy. Listen, I've been a fan since '89. We had, obviously Marv Levy, one of the, our greatest coach since I've been watching. But then we went through a bunch of garbage, guys that could not last. And it was a disaster. And every guy that came in promised us everything, right? Promised change, promised toughness, promised, leadership in the locker room and this, and we want this, and we're going to bring us and it never happened. And when we got desperate, we got Marv Levy as a GM one year. And then we got some country guys, Knicks, and he was like, hey, I'm going to bring on Buffalo, and we're going to be on the Super Bowl. And that was like one season and gone, right? And then it was a guy who was St. Doug's and then he's like, oh, see you later, guys. And it's like, and then we got the brothers, right? Buddy, Rex and Buddy riding on the 2-wheeler bicycle thing, and that didn't work out. So we finally got a guy who came to the podium and said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And then, of course, I rolled my eyes. I'm not going to lie because they all say that, right? Let's be real. When we hired Sean McDermott, I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Yeah. Once again, Bill's hiring some fucking Joe Schmo down the street, right? I never heard. because I don't follow. I'm gonna be real with the guy. I don't follow defensive coordinators, right? So
okay.
I was like, who the hell is this guy, right? Come on, man, who's this guy? So, but he's lived up to his words, and he got us to the playoffs with a team that shouldn't even gotten to playoffs with Tyrod Taylor, which, by the way, I do like Tyrod Taylor. The Nathan Peterman thing, I don't know what the hell he was thinking there, but I did like Tyrod. I think he's I feel bad for Tyrod, by the way, because he's gone through a lot of crap. But anyways, that team should not even won 9 games, right? So the fact that he got us to the playoffs, ended the drought, right there says a lot. And then trusting Josh Allen in that draft pick, when many people wanted Rosen, which thank God we did not get Rosen. Oh, did you? No, Jeremy. See, I was on board, and Allen, I was like, no, Rosen. Oh, really? So why did? So I guess I would ask you, why did you think Rosen? I guess, hey, you pointed at yourself, so you go ahead, man. Tell us why you wanted Rosen.
Well, after the EJ Manuel situation, right? I just say I think in my mind, I just put on mind that I just wanted a pro-ready quarterback. I didn't want a project. I don't want someone who had to develop. I thought I just wanted a pro-ready guy who would come in with this defense and just please just understand what the hell's going on the other side of the field. And obviously, 5 years later, Josh Rosen is barely in the NFL. I'm not going to say it's fully his fault either, because he has got screwed a little bit here.
Yeah.
But I am happy with Josh Allen. I actually still have my reaction somewhere on film where we drafted Josh Allen, and I swore and I threw my headset on the table. So I'll admit it. I was totally wrong on that.
Oh man, dude, I see. I don't really. I'm not like a big college guy, though. I do watch. I'm a Hurricanes fan. It's weird with me. Like just like football. Though NFL, I follow a little bit more than college, but college is so many teams, bro. It's tough for me to know every single team and player, because there's players coming out of some weird school. They're not even in top 25, and they're coming out in the draft, top 10. Never heard of them because I don't watch that school. So, but Josh Allen, once I heard about him, I said, "Who's this guy?" I looked at his stat, and I said, "Man, you saw the potential," and I get it. And I was saying, hey, man, the size of this guy, the arm strength, and he just looks like a good kid. Like he just looked like he had a good heart, good fight, wanted to be, the story alone was like, okay, I get it. I see why they're intrigued. And Josh Rosen, just when I saw his film, I wasn't sold on him. I thought he was he was ready, pro-ready, they say, but he just looked very Mac Jonesy-ish. Very just like, this is what I'm going to give you. Yeah. Don't expect too much, but I'm not going to turn the ball over, but I'll be all right. I'm going to give you this, but I'm not going to get any better. So it's just like, do I want that guy? Right. Or do I want the guy that potentially could be a home run? And I was all on the Allen train, man. All on Allen. I was all on board. And hey, man, it's worked out, guys. And obviously, the first year, I felt bad for him. And he wasn't even supposed to start, guys. So it was like, that was Bean's fault, by the way, and McDermott, for trusting in A.J. McCarron. And Peterman could hold down week 1, which they couldn't even get past. But awesome, man. Anyways, who did you want, Nathan? I'm curious when that draft.
Yeah, I wanted. As long as we got one of the 4, I was happy. But was it Darnold was my 1, then Rosen, then Allen, then Mayfield. So it's probably the opposite.
Oh, jeez. Yikes.
But
we would have a commercial guy like doing progressive commercials, but that's about it.
Yeah. So
we don't get any commercials in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Right. Woo. We got
But I was on the same page as Jeremy. I wanted a guy that can come in and just kind of like run the offense. Like I didn't want like some project.
You didn't want a project.
Yeah.
Right? That could be a potential bust. Like an EJ Manuel.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Which, by the way, EJ,
I don't think he got a fair. Yeah, I don't think he got a fair shake, really.
He wasn't. He just wasn't. He was an NFL quarterback, but that's okay. He wasn't bad in college. You know, if you want to talk about Dorsey, same thing. Some guys just can't make it. It's just the way it is, man. But I listen. That, to be honest with you, that was on us. That was on. I think it was Whaley that picked him up.
Yeah.
Was that the Whaley draft?
Nick's
It
draft.
was a combo. Now remember,
Yeah.
the Bills traded back once. Whaley tried to get Knicks to trade back a second time before picking Manuel. Nick said, "Nope, got to take my guy right here. We got to take him." And Whaley was saying, "No, man, we can take him a little bit later. Let's trade back again to get more picks."
Yeah.
And Nick said, "No, he took him just like he took Spiller with the water bug back. He did it." So
right. Mikey coming in. I wanted Allen or Lamar. Glad we got Allen. Hell yeah, we got it. Those are the two best in the quarterbacks right now, though, in that draft. Like Baker Mayfield, Cleveland has I'm glad I'm not a Cleveland fan because I don't know what to think because he's not terrible. He's just I don't know if he gets any better. Like, and I still don't think Josh Allen's reached the ceiling. Like, I still think he has work to do. The one thing I love about Josh Allen, he's never satisfied, man. Like, I don't think he's going to go into any offseason and be like, I'm just going to chill out, wait till training camp. Like, that's just not in his DNA. He loves the game so much. And watch, whatever free agent we sign, if it's an offensive guy, he'll be first on the phone calling. He'll be first. If it's a receiver, he'll be first practicing with him. Trust me, it's just the way he is, man. And that's what makes him special, man. Some these quarterbacks, some of these NFL players, they don't have the same like mindset as Josh Allen, right? They just, their season's done, they're done. But Josh improved because he wanted to improve, man. He went out and got the Jordan Palmer. He went out and got a mechanic, special quarterback mechanics to show him what he was doing wrong. Like, that's all on Allen. That's nothing to do with the Buffalo Bills. Ken Dorsey, by the way, huge help in Josh Allen's success. That's another thing Dable got way too much credit for. Really, Allen's success started when Ken Dorsey arrived.
Right.
If you want to be real.
Correct.
So that's another huge reason why I'm glad we get Dorsey, because they're on the same page. Like, they're both quarterbacks. Yeah, they're both locked in. They're both not former quarterback. One's a former quarterback, so he knows how. He's also a winning quarterback. He won a national championship.
Yeah.
He knows the game. So I think he also knows what Josh likes and what he doesn't. We bring a new OC in, man. You never know, man. Josh may go, this guy wants me to do this, and I'm not cool with this. And the offensive coordinator is like, well, I want you to do this anyways, right? And then you got Riff in the locker room. That's why I was like really hoping. But a lot of people, it's funny because I was saying Dorsey, they're already locking Dorsey in. When they promoted him, I said, that's it. He's here. Like, when Dable leaves, there's no reason why they did that. Because if they thought Dorsey wasn't the guy, they would never. Why give him that stupid promotion? Yeah, that's a silly promotion, by the way. Yeah, that title is nothing. I'll be real with you. It's a silly title. That's just them saying, please stay. We're going to give you some money. This is showing you that you're going to be here. And come on, man. Like, he wasn't going to New York, guys. Like, I didn't believe it. There was some Twitter guy saying it he's like a Patriots Twitter guy. And I'm like, bro, you guys are going to listen to this fucking guy, the Patriots Twitter guy. It's the last guy I'd be listening to about Buffalo Bills news. Right. But yeah, man. So crazy. So off season, I want to get into re-signing some guys. So there's a lot of guys actually, but there's only a few that I would want back. So I'm going to start with you, Jeremy. Who do you really want back? Who should the Bills bring back?
I would love to see Levi Wallace come back on a team-friendly deal. When I say team-friendly, and this does not mean that if we re-sign Levi Wallace, we still don't take a cornerback if he's on the board in the first or second round. But I'd love to see him back on something around a 3-year, maybe 18 million, something around that 6 million mark per year. Saran Neil, to me, is a must. He doesn't get enough credit for the job he does. I wish we would have used him in that playoff game versus the Chiefs. But he's one of the best gunners in the NFL, if not the best gunner in the NFL. We have another guy, obviously, Matthew Slater in New England, who's pretty good and been doing it for a long time over there in our division. Outside of that, I mean, Ryan Bates is a restricted free agent, so I don't think we'll have a problem getting him back at all. I am not on board with Jerry Hughes. I said Jerry Hughes should have been gone last year. But goodbye. Goodbye, good riddance. Thank you for your 5 sacks over the last 7 years, and all the money you stole from us as well. Yeah, I know Jerry Hughes is a fan favorite, and I get it. We love Jerry Hughes.
I love Jerry Hughes,
man. but he stole our money too. Him and Starla Tule, they got some PPP money from the Bills. They got some, and that's fine. But goodbye to him. I'm trying to think. It's not too much more. Like I said, my main two would be Saran Neil and Levi Wallace. But like I said, Levi Wallace is. I don't know where Trey White is at in his rehab.
That's a lot. That's a bad. He may not even be back week 1. They're saying so.
Well, that's what I'm saying. No, tearing that ACL in November. That's kind of late. That's very late in the season.
Right.
To tear that. So that's one of the reasons I would feel more comfortable bringing Levi Wallace back. That still would not stop me from trading for a guy like Greedy Williams or bringing another cornerback in here in the first round if one's available. But at the end of the day, Levi Wallace holds his own at corner. We've been trying to get him out of that number 2 spot for 3 years, and we ain't been able to do it yet.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me you can't win the Super Bowl with Levi Wallace when I just see the Bengals almost win the Super Bowl with Awuzie and Eli Apple. So you can't tell me that.
Apple's terrible. I'm
not gonna agree with that. So
those are Mike does not like Levi. He says hell to the Nizzo. Time to say goodbye to. He's one of those players that like Bill's Mafia's like Tremaine. Like they're just like they either love him or they hate him. There's no in between. Like Levi, he gets that. I don't know why, man.
As far as Phillips, I'm with you. I'm sorry. I'm just I saw his comment. I'm with you on Harrison Phillips. I'd like to have him back, but at the right dollar amount. I happen to think he's going to get overpaid somewhere else.
I agree.
And Isaiah McKenzie, I don't think McKenzie wants to come back. So
no, I agree. So wow, that's interesting. You don't think McKenzie wants to come back? See, I think he would. I think McKenzie would because Dable's gone. Factor that in. Dable held him out of this offense 2021, which I don't know why. He started using him way too late. I think Dorsey would use him a lot more. Though would I overpay for McKenzie? No. But if he came back on a friendly deal, I'm all for it. I think he's been a good teammate to these to everybody. I think he's a good team player. I think Josh likes him a lot as well. He works really well in the jet sweeps. He knows this offense. But he wouldn't be my like I said, if he's not coming on back on a team friendly, I'm cool with him going making his money somewhere else. Bates, like you said, I do want Bates back. Bates is just a man. You don't get a lot of those guys that could cover every position on the offensive line and do it well and do it better than well, actually good. And Saran Neil, you have to get Saran Neil. Saran Neil is a hybrid. He's our most athletic. He's a freak of an athlete. You got to have Saran Neil back. Pay him. You got to pay him. Everybody else, I get Harrison Phillips, but I think Harrison's going to get overpaid. I think he's going to get like overpaid, kind of like how Jordan Phillips was. Kind of like Shaq Lawson, right? Mm-hmm. Where the coaching staff, McDermott Bean's going to go, go ahead, good for you. Go get paid. We don't blame you. But we can't match that. So more likely he's gone.
My thing with
go
ahead. I was going to say,
go ahead, Nathan. I was going to ask you.
My thing with Harrison Phillips is, like, I think he's a good D tackle. He's a starter in the league, but like, I don't know if he's a starter on a Super Bowl caliber team, if you know what I mean. Like, and then same with wide receiver room. Like Beasley only has like 1 year left, but if you got rid of Beasley and you got rid of McKenzie, all you really have is Davis and Diggs left. Like all of a sudden now your wide receiver room looks kind of like thin, especially if Sanders doesn't come back either. So I think you need to bring back like one of those three, probably Beasley. I think same with like Levi Wallace. I'm big on Levi Wallace coming back. I heard like $6 million, $9 million. Like I don't think he's going to get that much.
I think that's his ceiling, 9.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going there far.
But like a guy that he really reminds me of is Xavier Rhodes. He's the corner for Indianapolis.
He played for the Colts.
Yeah, and he only got 5 on a 1 year deal. So I think that's more reasonable for Wallace. But yeah, you got to bring back a veteran anyways. You don't want to roll in with like a rookie and with a Dane Jack. And I don't know. I think you need a veteran.
Speaking of cuts, and I'm glad you brought him up, Beasley. So Bean was a little awkward in his conference about the Beasley situation.
Yeah.
So let's get into cuts real quick. You got Beasley, that's a potential cut. Star could be a potential cut.
Yeah.
You got Feliciano as a potential cut. AJ Klein as a potential cut. So I'm going to start with you, Jeremy. Any of those cuts you're cool with, or do you want these guys back?
I've already dubbed July 2nd a Star Latulele Day, so I think that one is good for me to go. That's a snip. Cole Beasley, I wouldn't bring Cole Beasley back. For one, I mean, I think it's just time to go in a different direction. And personally, listen, I get his beliefs. I don't have an issue with anybody's beliefs, but we're in a Super Bowl window here. And when you're buying fans away game tickets and making a point to do it publicly, at that point, it's like, listen, dude, you're kind of putting yourself and your beliefs over the team. We're in a Super Bowl window right now, and you should know how fast Super Bowl windows can close because you played in Dallas before here. So I prefer to trade Cole Beasley, not necessarily cut, but there's a nice spot in Philadelphia where they have a young quarterback and they could use a third guy, a safety blanket for Jalen Hurts. So I would prefer to trade Cole Beasley. But you got to free up money. We're negative $4 million right now. Between Klein, Beasley, and Latule, I believe that's like $17 million just between those three players alone. And AJ Klein, $5.2 million. That's not even a potential cut. We know he's gone. Bye-bye, AJ. Right? So I think those three you have to go with, and they have to be gone. It's just as simple as that.
Yeah, Beasley. I'm torn on Beasley, man, because I like him, but he just caused a lot of
he's a bit of a
lot of stir in the offseason, and who knows what's going to happen this offseason. And it's like, are the players themselves like just kind of like, I don't want to hear it anymore, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, but I still like him as a player. That's why I'm torn. I still think he's one of the best slots in the game still. Is he the best anymore? Probably not, but he's up there.
Yeah,
like anytime we go to him, Josh throws his way. I believe he's going to make the catch. He's going to, get a first down or whatever, do what he has to do. When he's on the field, he balls. He puts everything he has on the field. So I like him, but would I be sad if like we traded him? No. But we got to fill that position, right? So it's not as simple as just like getting rid. Because now what do you do, right? Now you created a hole. Yeah. Now you created a hole. Now you need somebody that Josh feels comfortable with when things are breaking down. Yeah. And that was usually Cole. And then it started becoming Dawson Knox, right? Thank God for Dawson Knox, who came around.
Unless they start incorporating him more in the offense.
But you still need a slot. You still need a slot, and right. And the problem is with Emmanuel. Emmanuel's done. I think Emmanuel knows his time's done. He gave it all he had. This is for the Bills. He was hoping for a Super Bowl. It didn't happen. But and he's not the answer. If it'd be a 1-year deal anyways, even if he did come back. So I think if they're trying to trade Beasley, you better have an answer. You better have a fill-in, because if McKenzie ain't coming back, because McKenzie could possibly be that guy. I mean, in drafting a guy to fill that slot.
Yeah, that's asking a lot.
It's asking a lot, especially for Josh. You know what? Josh needs. Go ahead, Jeremy.
When you talk about drafting, right, and it is a lot. I think maybe about 5 years ago, but when we start seeing guys like how Justin Jefferson came onto the scene, and Devontae Smith, and our guy Amon St. Brown this year in Detroit, I don't think it's as hard as it used to be, because of you can't touch the receivers anymore. You can't knock them out across the middle either. So you're not a rookie like, hey, when I'm going to get my welcome to the NFL moment. Hell, you may not get it about 5 years down the line. Yeah. But there's so many guys out there that you can get. People like Demir Bird as free agents that are cheap. Guys like Braxton Berrios. Like, nothing against Cole Beasley, but here at the end, he didn't do anything extremely spectacular.
So he had a so-so season. Yeah.
So I think that we could replace it. As a fan, I'm with you. You don't want to create that hole, but sometimes you have to create holes in order to get better.
No, I understand eventually. And it's getting, and also they're going to factor in the contract. They're going to factor in his age. They're going to factor in the off-season stuff. Bean's going to factor that in. And like you said, there's actually a decent amount of receivers on free agent. It's just about money. It's about what you want to spend. You got Juju out there. I'm not a fan of Juju, by the way. I would not want him, to be honest with you. But he could be a cheapy kind of pickup, if he's willing to come on the team. But I don't think they would do it too because he's more of a me guy, and the Bills aren't having that, But getting on the draft real quick, because I know we've been on over an hour. Draft needs, and we're not gonna go with the players. We're just gonna go with your needs on day 1, day 2, day 3. So Jeremy, day 1, like what if you're Brandon Beane, what are you going for day 1? Cornerback, offensive line, defensive line, receiver?
Actually, because we play a zone scheme, I go cornerback day 2. I'm going receiver or interior line day 1. Receiver to me is actually a little bit important, but I think you can fill that in free agency if you want. But I'm going to go receiver or interior line day 1. That's my day 1 pick.
Okay. What about you, Nathan? Day 1.
Probably interior D line. That's like a big hole. Corner, like you said, I think we can like wait till later. Another one is like Tremaine Edmonds. Like, what are we going to do with Tremaine Edmonds? Because I've heard like trade. So if you trade, that creates a giant hole. So then automatically day 1 probably might be looking linebacker. But assuming Tremaine Edmonds is still on the team, D line, guard maybe, but mostly interior D line. That's what I'm thinking.
Thomas coming in, he's an a-hole, talking about Beasley. But on field, he's a beast that makes the toughest catch. Too bad Knox doesn't have Beasley hands. Though, Thomas, I disagree. This year, Dawson Knox actually, I got to look up his catch ratio, but it was pretty good. He improved night and day, Dawson Knox. And he's going to be a problem, by the way. He's young. He's only getting better. Ceiling's getting, he still has a high ceiling. So no, I disagree with you there. I think Dawson Knox, the only time he really was kind of dropping a couple passes was when he broke his hand. He came back and he got better. Like it was because his hand was like a balloon. So, but we needed him back. Think about it. Yeah, you had Tommy Sweeney in there. It was terrible. So I'd rather have a banged up Dawson Knox. But no, man, Dawson Knox, he caught a lot better this year. So no, I disagree with that. But I would like you got a good point. Like I said, Beasley is he's a dog on the field. I give you that. But it's the off the field, the money you got to factor in that we're gonna have to take in account for. And that's Beane's job. That's the tough part of being a general manager. You got to make these tough decisions. And trust me, man, I'm sure Josh Allen loves Beasley. You don't think Josh Allen wants his guys back? Of course he does. This isn't, Duke, right? It's, like Josh won't miss Duke Williams. He'll miss Cole Beasley because he's been riding with Cole Beasley a while, right? So it's one of those things. That's why I said I'm kind of torn on it because I get it, and I'm looking at it as Josh Allen's looking at it, right? Who are my guys? Who are the guys I've been with since I've been here, right? Who are the 2 guys that helped me the most in 2019? John Brown and Cole Beasley. John Brown left, Cole Beasley stayed. He was his guy, right? And he's been his guy. So it's tough, man. But Josh Allen is starting to realize this is a business. And he's going to have to understand that some of your guys aren't going to be here, like it or not. So, yeah, day 1 for me, I'm going to go either offensive line because, man, I really, truly believe we need a left guard. I think Mongo has to go. And if it's not that, I'm going to go cornerback. I'm going to go. I really think we need to address it. We didn't address it last season. We didn't even address it in free agency last season, which that's why I was baffled that we didn't draft one in the draft not so late, right? In Hamlin. So it's like, man, I really believe we need a stud cornerback, especially if Trey's not going to be there week 1. Who knows week 2? So I'd be cool with cornerback or offensive line day 1. And I'm very curious because we got the 25th pick, if Beane does a trade up for, a stud player in the top 10. You never know. Beane's he's not afraid to make trades, and he could move up, in there. And also, speaking of trades, I know we're not going to go after big free agents, though we could if we do some cuts. I see a trade happening. Yeah. I do. I have a feeling that Beane's going to make a splash trade move and move some pieces around for that player as far as, the cap, or make it work where the other team has to pay the majority of this guy's contract still. But I have a feeling that Bean's going to trade for a running back. I don't know why. I just see it happening. What do you think about that, Jeremy? A big trade, splash trade for Bean.
Like I said, I love Devin Singletary. I'm a big Devin Singletary guy. I'm a big Motor fan, but I think the name I keep circling it and I keep coming back to is Saquon Barkley. And the reason I keep coming back to Saquon Barkley is this: he hasn't lost a step. He hasn't lost his skills. He played this season, and besides the rolled up ankle, which was kind of a fluke, it was a rolled up ankle, he's pretty much healthy. Obviously, I think he wants to get out of New York. I don't see New York committing to him long term. And obviously, we have some friends over in New York now that we have some open communication with. I believe if you added a Saquon Barkley to this offense, it's going to put this offense completely over the top. Plus, I think that on him, coming to this offense with Josh Allen already here, you're going to take a lot of the pressure off. You're taking a lot of pressure off, and you're taking a lot of workload off. I think if Saquon Barkley is a running back that you're giving 18 carries a game instead of the 25 and the 9 catches that he's getting in New York, he's a different player. And he's a home run hitter. Think about some of these runs that Devin Singletary and Zach Moss to get many this year. The 20-yarders that we got, the 25-yarders we got. With Saquon Barkley, those are potential touchdowns. And that's the difference. That right there is the difference between blowing out teams and not blowing out teams, and sometimes field goals and touchdowns. That's why, like I said, I'm on board with Saquon Barkley. And I do agree with you. I got this feeling that whether it's a Barkley, whether it's a Miles Sanders, something's coming at that position. And that's the position I'm circling as well, right along with you.
Yep. What's his name coming in? Jance. By the way, Jance Sports, he has a really cool channel too. If you guys, he's been on my channel a couple times. Really good guy. Check his channel out, guys. He covers a lot of college football. Big Alabama fan. But he's saying we need a one technique player in the second, Travis Jones or Wyatt, defense tackle. I know Wyatt. I heard Wyatt's moving up. People are really liking what Wyatt did in college. So, but I agree with you. We need a defense. Man, the defensive. I told you. I think Star should go. I think we need to fill that spot next to Ed, man. So, let's see here. Oh, we got a Barkley comment. Thomas Barkley had a great interview on Pat McAfee. He admitted he had a bad year and needs to redeem himself. Yeah, the thing with Barkley, man. Health, he has to stay, can he last the whole season? It scares me. He's still young though, but I mean, look at Todd Gurley, right? In the Gurley situation, Gurley was a unbelievable running back, but it's just like something happened where he got hurt and he just was never the same.
Arthritis. He got arthritis in his knee.
Yeah. He just couldn't bounce back. But we'll see. Like, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate the Barkley, but I got to say this. You still got to get an offensive line. You got to get a left guard. You got to get someone. Like, the problem with this offensive line in this running game, a lot of it was the offensive line. The offensive line could not create any kind of hole for the running backs to go through. It was just like we were built to go on the outside. The outside, the edges were great. I thought the pin and pulls, they were very athletic, but anything in the middle between the tackles were terrible. It was bad. So I said, I was so disappointed with Mongo because Mongo of 2020 helped the running. When he came back in like week 8 or 9 or whatever that was, he started getting that running game going because he was that big dog up front. Like, we're missing that Richie Incognito, right? Like that kind of guy that's just going to be a wrecker. We don't have that. Like, we got a small center. Though I like Mitch Morse, but he's not a very big center. He's more athletic. He does the pin and pull. He does one of the best, but he's not got a guy that's going to push the line forward. It's just not that. He's not built that way. Deion Dawkins, he's more athletic to get on the outside. Same thing. Ryan Bates, same thing. More athletic. He goes on the outside. He's more of an edge. And Mongo's just a disappointment. I'll be real with you guys. I was expecting so much more from Mongo. And I like him, but he's not a starting left guard. I got to be with her. The one guy I will say caught me off guard, Spencer Brown.
Okay.
Spencer Brown is a fucking dog. Like that guy. Where we were just talking about earlier about drafting a player and because we're trying to see what his potential is, and it wasn't all the way there in college, or he's new to the position. Dawson Knox, that's one, right? Dawson Knox barely played tight end in college. He didn't play it in high school. He barely got the ball because he had great receivers in college with DK Metcalf and AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Right? So he barely got anything. We drafted Knox on potential. He could have been a total bust. That was a total chance. Spencer Brown, same thing. Spencer Brown is new to the position. He didn't play last season in college. I didn't think he was again. I thought he was going to be a bench player the whole year.
I didn't even know who he was.
Yeah, it's exactly my point. So look at that. Spencer Brown, 6'8", a big beast, a dude that can run. I think they're going to make him get a little bigger. By the way,
I was thinking that
put
too.
A little weight on. Yeah. But man, my God, like thank God for that pick. And that there, Brandon Beane once again did it again. 3rd round. I mean, a guy that you don't know, never heard of. Who the hell heard of Spencer Brown? And yeah, I'm happy with that. But they got to start looking at that offensive line before if they want to really get a running back going.
But that's what I like about our offensive line. We kind of have a foundation in place. We got our 2 tackles and we got a center. Like we just got 2 guards we got to figure out, right?
Right.
So I don't think it's all. I don't know. I think it's
Mitch Morse. Yeah, Mitch Morse. I think I thought he was going to retire. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to play his contract out. It looks like he's going to play one more season.
I even heard an extension might be coming.
I doubt it. I don't. I wouldn't do it.
It's possible. I actually, if I were the Bills, I would do it. I would do a 1-year extension. And the only reason I would do that.
Okay. I'd be cool with 1.
Well, I think part of the extension would be for me, and this is part of the restructuring when I told you guys we can get $17 million. Well, if you extend him out 1 year and you cut his cap hit down for the final year of his deal in half, then you can gain yourself another $6 to $7 million.
Yeah.
By doing so.
That's true. But that's if he the problem. To me, the problem with Morris is not so much his playing. It's his, can he stay healthy? We all know what goes on with Mitch Morse, right? So concussions, it's been his theme, right? And there's nothing you could do about that, right? That's part of the game. And that's why I think Mitch Morse is going to, he's going to have some self-talking to do in time because he's going to have to decide because trust me, guys, there's concussions I'm sure he's getting that he doesn't say. They all do. Okay. So eventually he's going to have that talk to himself where it's the time to go. And the Buffalo Bills need to prepare. So is it going to be Bates, right? Are they preparing Bates to be that guy? Because Mongo's not going to be the guy. I think Mongo's gone. So is Bates the guy? You know what I mean? Are they going to keep Bates, pay him, extend them, and then still go out and get a left guard in the draft or free agency? So I think you're going to see some moving around, some shuffling before the season starts in offensive line. I don't think this is going to, we already know Spencer Brown, Deion Dawkins, Mitch Morse for now, but I think right now between Daryl Williams and that left guard spot, it's open. I think it's open for anyone. And Daryl Williams is another one that disappointed me. I got to be real with you, man. I thought he didn't play. He didn't play his contract out.
You know what? I see. I go back and forth with Daryl Williams because I thought that him and Spencer Brown made a very formidable line on that right side, a tandem. Now, I do think that his cap number at $9 million is a little high for his peers. You have to find a way to at least bring that cap hit down. I think he belongs with his level of play and his peers, he belongs around 7.5 to 7 million. So if you can bring that down a little bit for me, I'm fine. But I thought that right side of the line, especially that's where we ran the football at towards the end of the season.
They had thank God for Brown though, because if they didn't, him at the right tackle, he just was not. It just wasn't going well.
Right, and maybe it's time for him to move inside,
right,
which he did. So I wouldn't break that tandem up right there because remember, if you go back to Deion Dawkins talking about when they switched Cody Ford after Richie Incognito, how tough it was on him as being a younger player and losing a veteran that was next to him. So I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't break that up, but I would fix that left side for sure.
But I think I think Williams still has some trade value. Like you can probably get a lot for him because some team might value him as a tackle. Like the Giants, for instance, they got problems in guard and tackle. They have some cap issues, but yeah, I think he has good trade value anyway, so you can go that route.
Yeah, I could see it. But to your point, Jeremy, I could also see they could reconstruct his contract and make it work. But At 10 million, I think he's a little. I think he.
That's a little rich, yeah.
I don't think he played to his contract. So but one thing about Bean, guys, he's really good at working
with the
these
numbers
deals out.
Yeah,
he's
he's so good.
He's like a genius at that. So I'm not too concerned. But let's see if I've missed any questions. I don't think I did. Hey guys, man, it's been a great show. I appreciate you guys hopping on. Everyone in the chat. Jeremy, one more time, where can they find you, man?
At Cold Front Report. You can find me on Twitter at JTMCFR, and on Instagram. I need to do the tags the same. I don't know why I'm doing that. That's an idiot. But on Instagram, _ the real JTM. So you can catch me there.
All right. And Nathan, man, I know Nathan's new on Twitter. He doesn't even have a profile picture. So, I guess where can they find you on your no profile picture Twitter feed, Nathan?
Well, I don't even remember what it's called. I had to sign up just to contact with you. I think it's silly55 or something. I don't know.
Don't worry. Nathan will work on his Twitter, guys. So, hey, you guys can find me right here, Mafia Sports Report. On Thursdays, usually, I'll let you know when the season starts. Saturday, when the season does start again, I have the AFC East Shakedown, as you guys know. And Fridays on #sports tailgate talk. And next Friday, I will be on with Mike, which is Apex at 9 p.m. So be there, guys. Bills Mafia, you guys know, is the best, #1. And we are out of here. Peace out. Peace. Go Bills.
God bless America and God bless Ric Flair. Go for it. Woo! Styling and profiling. Woo! 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 I've lost it. I've lost reality. And when I lose reality, somebody else pays the price of a lifetime. Woo!
Hey, man, I appreciate you guys hopping on, bro. I do, man. It was fun, bro.